there.
Yeah, that would do. I think we might have to put up with my internet being a bit jerky, robotic today.
Okay.
Never mind. So, hey, just before we start, we've got what next?
Oh, we're losing you. We're using.
Oh, my. Yeah, there we go. What a disaster! Welcome back, Dave.
Hello there. It's nice to be.
Welcome back to at my end this time. Yeah. So Dave's back. We'll talk about Dave being back in a minute. Alan's here. I'm here as well. We thought we'd do a little show and tell today. Unplanned. We were all just chatting off air about things we've been working on. I haven't asked Dave yet what you've been working on, so I'll get that in a minute, Dave. But what I would say before we do that is, if you are new here, if you're not new here, I have been asking all the people that have previously been guests on when we were doing the kind of long form interview to share their videos. So check out the archive. I'll put a link in the video description for this. Go and watch one. Go and watch two. If you find one you like, share it with a friend. It'd be brilliant. I quite enjoyed looking back on all the old videos, remembering conversations with people, and as a result, I've been in touch with almost everyone that we interviewed. I've got a few people still to catch up with, and there are a few people that I haven't heard from in over a year, maybe 2 years, who've just sort of drifted a bit away from guitar building, but building other things. I won't talk about what they're doing because it's not my place to talk about them. But it's been lovely, and maybe they'll be coming back with the Jurgs Cup soon to re-explore guitar building with a new focus. I don't know, because a lot of those people that we got on originally were part of the Great Guitar Build-Off. If you don't know the Great Guitar Build-Off, it was a thing that Crimson Guitars ran for a few years before it became, I think, a bit too complicated for them to run.
Yeah.
But the Jurgs Cup, fantastic. So we were talking about that. I will leave a link in the video description. If you're watching live now and you're in the chat, I haven't written the description yet, but I'll put it in there. I'll put it right at the top, a link to the new website that Mick from Mixed Guitars has put together, which has got all the information about the new Jurgs Cup. And in a few weeks, hopefully, we'll sort out an episode where we can talk about all the entries from the current Jurgs Cup and look back on old ones as well. I'm trying to find a date that works to get some of the people that are more involved with the kind of behind the scenes organisation of it to come on with us.
That'd be good.
So, I think Great Guitar Build-Off is probably how I met you, Dave.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Well, it was that first one. I was in on the first one, which was the one where Ben Crow said, right, we're going to do this this build-off between about 5 YouTubers. And then a load of people said, well, hang on a second, can we join in and build a guitar alongside you? And so we did. And I don't think there was any intention at that stage to take it any further. I mean, Ben's idea was to, have sort of 5 big names building guitars, which they did. But there were, I don't know, how many were there? I don't know. There was quite a few other people then building guitars and sharing the videos. And that sort of kicked the whole thing off, I think. And then in the subsequent years, more people joined in. And I think, as you said, Daniel, that the competition got a bit too complicated at the end of the day. And I think that the thing for me was it was a great sort of festival of guitar building. So at the time it was on, there were loads of people putting videos up, making guitars. There was a great communication between people. But ultimately, there was only ever one winner. And I think there was a lot of people then at the end of it sort of felt a bit deflated because, put all that effort in and then, it's bound to be one winner, and it's a very subjective thing, obviously. So, but I enjoyed it being part of that community. And I think that's where the Guitar Builders Collective, started really.
Yeah. So, as far as I know, the original impetus behind the Guitar Builders Collective was because people were chatting online talking about the Great Guitar Build-Off. And then Chris Frank from Franklin Guitars set up a forum where people were chatting. Corey set up the Instagram. And then think he also set up, but with Brad from BB Guitars, Corey from It's All Good Guitars. And Brad, they set up the Facebook page, just stripped for you a bit. There's my top on. The old logo. He's got a new logo. Just after I bought the T-shirt, he showed off his new logo.
Oh,
It's like,
oh no, you don't.
But yeah, and then the Jurgens Cup came out that with Jurgen Zoller being someone that was in the chats all the time, and then there's a sort of a build along in his memory, an excuse for everyone to make stuff. But this year, Paul from Mild House Studios has got involved and helped get together some prizes for people. So there will be some sort of judging and prize giving in some way. I don't think it'd be quite as formal or disorganized as the Crimson one was.
Yeah. I mean, personally, I think the whole point is to encourage people to do something, perhaps to build a guitar in a certain way or to a certain style, have some sort of theme that perhaps they wouldn't have considered in the first place. And yet, yeah, to build it along in the sort of, you know, the spirit of everybody else building as well. And because at the end of the day, of course, you get a guitar, don't you? Yeah. So you get a prize.
Yeah, exactly. One of the years the theme was use whatever you've got. And I built a couple of guitars that were one-string guitars with some leftover hardware that I had and a couple of table legs. And I took them to a guitar show, sold them for 50 quid each and gave that 50 quid to charity. In fact, I didn't give it directly to charity. I gave it to Paul at Mild House for he was doing a sponsored run at the time. So the money I raised went into his sponsorship. So I'm sure if you keep putting the money you raise into other people's sponsorship, there'll be cuts being taken by the sponsors or the different integrations and the card people. But in the end, it got to charity. But then since then, I've been making more. So this is where we're at now. Toby was just here. He couldn't stay around.
Oh, right.
So these are bamboo table legs. This one has hold on. We found a pallet, like a wooden pallet that had really good hardwood on it. So this one's got a fretboard made out of a pallet hardwood. I'm not sure what wood it is, but it's really cool. And then it's got some offcuts of rosewood from other guitar projects. It's got some new hardware on it. The ones that I originally made had reclaimed hardware on it. And I just was making the nuts today. They need to be sorted out when we put the bridge saddle on. And then Toby's made these pickups, which are made from sewing machine bobbins.
Oh, yeah, that's clever. That's really clever.
So we've got 5 of them. We've got, I think, one of our second iteration left over. The first iteration that I made, I sold those 2 for charity originally, but I also had, I think, another 4 that I never finished. They're still in the cupboard. So we might get those finished as well. And we're going to take them with us to Fretfest, the new guitar show that's happening in June in Norwich, and sort of launch them there. And hopefully I'll sell a few there. And then, you know, the problem is, how do you value something like that? So I think if we make more, we've decided to not put as much time into them so that they do look a little bit more rustic than maybe these. Because the amount of time that we put into these is ridiculous. But part of that is because we've been going through the iterations and the design and going backwards and forwards and making changes. So if you worked it out by the hour, the price you'd have to sell these for, I don't think is a price people would want to pay for them.
No. It's just wonderful you get inspired though by that. That build from what you've got. Hang on, I've just excuse me a minute. Oops. It's my it's this one here. It's built completely from wood from a fence. So
it's amazing.
So including the neck, and I mean, I built this was quite a few years ago now. I mean, this is just the bit of fence post, and the fretboard is a bit of feather edge. And the beautiful thing about this is, I mean, it goes out of tune, but it plays.
And was your wife painted on it?
Yeah, she painted Carolyn did all the artwork on it.
But
Yeah.
it goes out of tune. What do you mean?
Well, it obviously because the neck does it. Well, actually, I'm saying that. And
Doesn't sound that out of
no,
tune.
normally when I get it down, it's out of tune. But I mean,
Just took its time to settle, and now it's in the right.
it may be, yeah. But I mean, the wood is really crap. I mean, let's be honest, it really is. But yeah, and it's very heavy. But it's interesting. You say what value do you put on it? Is a guy from America said, he'd like to buy it, and I said, look, I'll be perfectly honest with you. This thing is it's really heavy. You need an electric. It's got an actually electric pickup under the bridge up yet, so and I said it's not really any good. But I mean, what value would you put on a piece of fence panel?
Eddie said sometimes you value something by the space they occupy when you need the room for other things.
Oh, right. Okay. It's a good idea. But no, but I love it. I mean, I love these challenges because they do, don't they? They inspire you to do something which you perhaps wouldn't have thought of in the first place. But yeah. So your guitar, sorry, Daniel, that string, what string is it? Is it a top E or?
So at the moment we're aiming for low E's on them all, and it's almost exactly they're all 25.5-inch scale.
Right, but there's no frets on it.
No,
right.
But the 4 or 3 or 4 I can't remember that I've got left over that never finished originally, which we're going to revisit. They've got 2 strings on, and I set them up so one of them would have a E from a bass and a low E from a guitar, so you get that octave on it.
Okay, right.
Some of them I've got, so you just have 2 strings on. So it might be, you might put 2 E's on it, but you might put an E and an A or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
And obviously it doesn't have to be tuned to an E. We might get a couple of taps of, might get some lower strings, like a 7-string guitar. I don't know. It basically have any gauge, doesn't really matter where you put it on. That we just got to sort that out when we make the nuts, really.
Excellent.
Yeah, and the whole point is it's just a weird thing to play with to sort of inspire a bit of creativity in a different way.
Yeah.
So put whatever you want on it, really, when they got. But I think we're just gonna get a load of these.
No, that's good.
Before we talk about you were talking about how the challenges sort of inspire you to do something. So before we talk about the new theme, which because I've been thinking about how that might inspire me, Alan, you've been working on one for the current, the Yerkes Cup that just finished. How did that inspire you? The theme.
To be honest, because it's my first guitar, I had no intention of doing something semi-hollow. I was going to start with something completely solid and make it as easy as possible. But once I started looking into it, I thought I'll just go for it. And originally, the cutout wasn't going to be what it is at the moment. That's the 3rd time I put a top on it. I put it through the planer twice so far.
Yeah, yes, I remember.
My electric eraser that I've got.
It's a good way to describe it.
The first one had like a river on it, and it looked awful. I had it sitting in the front room, and every time I walked in there, I look at it and go, no, I don't like it. Don't like it. Just got to the point where I just start again. So,
but I mean, Alan, you were showing. Can you show us that one that you were showing at? Because that looks really amazing.
Yeah, this is the first build.
Yeah, it's good. I love the shape of the guitar as well, and I mean that that cutout is really nice.
Yeah, once I settled on an idea of a theme, I thought I'd go for it. Wasn't sure how it would work. The shape itself is just something I came up with. I figured if I started and didn't do a recognised shape, then if I made a mistake, I can just change it slightly and no one will ever know. But because I was lack of tools, so I've actually ended up starting several. So I've got this one as well, which is semi-hollow.
Right.
Again, it's got the animal on the top.
Yeah, I can see it, yeah.
And then I've got a 3rd semi-hollow on the go as well. So, which is this one, which is a bit more of a Rev Star type shape.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just now remind me, with that one, you've raised bits. And
Yeah,
Yeah, I've got a thin body, but I'm actually putting a raised section on, so the controls, the neck pocket, so it's got the full thickness for the neck pocket, and then the pickups and the controls are going to be raised from the body, and then I want to put a Bixby on it.
I love that because it just looks different already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does. Yeah. It's
So I want to do every build I do. I want to have a slightly different finish and a different build construction, basically till I find something that suits.
I mean, that is the pleasure of building guitars yourself, isn't it? Because you can build exactly what you want, you know, or try different things, you know, and not everything works, but at least you've learned something.
Yeah, well, they say you learn from your mistakes, and I'm learning loads.
Yeah. Oh, dear. No. Well, I mean, the current one is this hollow body guitar. And I mean, I'll be honest with you, I haven't looked around to see how many people have been building one. Somebody commented on one of my videos recently that they're making a lovely resonator up in the Netherlands, which looks really nice.
It's in the chat.
Yeah. Amazing. Oh, yes, he is. Yes. Yeah, it's a lovely one. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
it's a lovely guitar.
I like the way you make your hollow guitars.
My favourite bit is bending the wood.
Yeah.
You know, and once you get into bending wood, then it's it's one of those.
Well, I think previous time you were on, you showed us your wood bending setup.
Yeah, well, all I use is I've got a lamp in a metal tube, and I got that from a Spanish guitar builder I watched online, and he was just using, I think, a tin can with an incandescent bulb in it and bending wood. Now, it doesn't get anywhere near as hot as the professional bending irons that you can buy, which is, I don't know, a couple of 100 degrees, but they're quite expensive. But this thing will go up to about 90, 95 degrees. And it works. You know, you've got to be patient. It takes a bit longer, but it does work. And you can bend wood. And I bent the wood on the acoustic guitar that I made. Let's pick it, get it up.
Dave's doing that. We will definitely have a session at some point soon where we look over it or everyone's build. So we're mentioning some people's now, but we'll look at it properly.
Yes. So that was all bent on that simple bending iron. So, you know, it's amazing what you can do with them. But there is something about it. Obviously, the only problem when you're making a hollow body electric guitar is you've got a tendency to get neck dive because the body is very light. But you know,
whilst we've been talking, I've just been doing some image searching, Dave, because off air we were talking about Dave Hill from Slade.
Oh yeah.
the new theme is Guitar Heroes. So for Jörg's Cup, they're asking people to build a guitar. Well, I think the way it was phrased was everybody's got a guitar hero. So build your guitar based around the guitar that inspired you, the guitarist and the guitar that inspired you. I weirdly don't have a guitar hero, really. I mean, I think about it, there are a few, but Dave Hill was yours then.
Well, that was my first. Yeah, he was the first guy I saw, and I was always intrigued because his guitars were just a bit weird.
Yeah, fair enough. Let me.
Did you find some of them?
I've just done an image search. Here we go. So you had this sound, which looks also. I love the weirdness of this.
Yeah.
That's
that one there. That one there. That was the one. Yeah.
Dave was saying, if you don't mind me saying, Dave, you were saying off air that you had an Action Man when you were a kid, that you put tinfoil boots on.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, made him high heel boots. Yeah. I had a whole wall of my bedroom just covered in Slade posters.
Oh, mad.
Oh dear.
I saw a clip of I think that before they were Slade, they were Ambrosia Slade.
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
And I saw a clip of them doing a cover of a kind of 50s rock and roll song. And so Noddy Holder had almost like a almost shaved head, skinhead, really
Yeah.
close. Absolutely brilliant voice. And it rocked. Just this song totally rocks.
Yeah.
They had their sound, their guitar sounds.
They did. Yeah. 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 You know, things like Mama, We're All Crazy Now. I mean, yeah, I've still got it on my iPad.
So did you say the reason he was a good guitar hero is one of the first bands you saw with a guitarist playing?
I think it was one of the first bands that I really got into. Yeah. I mean, if you're going to guitar heroes, people like Gary Moore, Santana, those people, David Gilmour, you know, I mean, the list is endless of the, and they're not people who are, you know, really technically good, but they just managed to get the real feeling in the playing. The expression was wonderful. Particularly Gary Moore. I mean, I just love some of the stuff he did.
Yeah. See, I had lots of bands I liked, and I would play along on my guitar. And I don't remember ever thinking I wanted to be like that person. But if I had to, it would have been like Marty Friedman from Megadeth. I knew I would never play like him, never be able to be as skillful as him. But he just played like really technical stuff, but it had melodies, and you could whistle and hum them.
Yeah,
it didn't feel like other music that I was listening to that I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed the technical, fast shredding stuff, but none of it kind of had those melodies to it, really. But yeah, I didn't really have a guitar. If I think about guitars that inspired me, there are a couple, and that is the Jackson guitars that Megadeth used to play. It's the first time I saw a Flying V that I liked, and I never liked the Gibson Flying V. I thought it looked ridiculous, just too big and chunky. But their ones were sleek. I've mentioned before I saw a clip of Sepultura playing live somewhere, and they were playing Warlocks by BC Riches, and I'd never seen anything like that. I was like, "Oh my god, what is that?" And that blew my mind. But possibly, it occurred to me only yesterday or the day before that actually I am quite inspired to do a Yost cut, because there was one guitar that was really iconic to me, and because I used to watch a lot of MTV, and I had my VHS player, and I would record live gigs and stuff like that. And I would record music videos. And there's one music video that I just liked the look of the video as much as I liked the song. And the reason I liked the look of the video was the guitarist looked cool, and his guitar was amazing. And it's Billy Joe from Green Day.
right.
With a basket case, with his like classic guitar with the stickers all over it. So I feel quite inspired to just make his guitar with the stickers all over it and try and copy it.
Yeah, that sounds like good.
Look into it a bit when I was writing the book, because I mentioned it in the book, and yeah, there's quite a lot of research into it, because as with anyone that has a guitar that's in a band and that's famous, that plays it a lot, it changes over time. It gets more nicked in it, or scratches, or a bit more relic and worn, or the stickers change on it, or the pickups get changed. Like if you look at the Eddie Van Halen Frankenstrap, there's a whole history of it. Like it was black and white to start with before it was red. And
was it?
Yeah. So the reason he added the red to it is because so many people were copying his black and white guitar that he wanted it to go to the next level and be more unique. So he put the red layer on it. Yeah, so I'd love to make something like that, because that is that, and maybe Kurt Cobain's Jazz Stain from the is it Jazz Stain? I can't remember which one he's playing when he does the Live and Loud gig that I recorded from MTV. I'm going to look up which guitar it was he had.
Yeah, you have to look.
Picture it. I don't know who it was. That they were two guitars that I always wanted.
Alan, how about you? I mean, who inspired you?
Same. There was no one really that got me thinking about guitars as when I was younger. I guess there's two. There's probably the one I'm going to build, which is I'm looking at the Mad Cat that Prince had,
right?
Which is just sort of, it was I Honor guitar, but it's a telly shape, but it's got Strat pickups in it, and it's all quite a strange build. And the other one I was looking at, I was really into Pat Benatar, but not because of the guitar player. But yeah, I was thinking of doing something along those lines, but I want to do different colors basically.
Oh right, okay, yeah, I can see it. Mad Cat. Oh right,
yeah. And
that's
Neil
a nice
Gerardo from the Pink from Pat Benatar's band played. It was a BC Rich Eagle one,
right.
which he had mod, so he had a Bigsby put onto it and everything. So it was completely custom for him. But that's a neck through, and I think that's a bit ambitious for for now for me. So I might go for the Mad Cat because at least it's a bolt-on neck and something I know I can got more chance of doing.
Yeah, that looks nice. Nice guitar as well. Yeah.
I'm just looking up the Neil Gerardo one.
He's got two. They did two signatures for him. So he's got a green burst, and then he had a one that was just sort of those two.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
The electronics on them are very weird. There's loads of little switches on it.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
So two of the switches are coil splits on each one separately, and then the other one changes the phase on the pickups.
Okay. Presumably, so you get a thinner sound then, do you?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
But that's a neck through construction, so it's a bit.
Hey, you could always make a version that's not neck through.
Yeah, well, they did do a sort of a lower entry version of the Eagle one was a bolt-on neck, so I could do that.
It's got the classic R, BC Richard R on it as well.
Yeah.
Like that.
This was 1981. They only made them for a few years, the Eagles.
Nice. And the Kurt Cobain one I mentioned was just a Mustang.
Oh, okay.
I guess his model came out after that, I guess. So the Jazz-Stang that Fender made for him was he basically they wanted to build a guitar for him, and if I got the story right, he just took a Polaroid of a Mustang and a Jaguar, and cut them in half, stuck them together, and sent them that, and they see that. That's what happened.
That sounds good. Good way of doing it. Oh, no. Oh.
My Yerkes Cup 4 build will be a kind of a Yamaha SG 2000 like Santana played in the end of the 70s, beginning of the 80s.
Right. Gosh.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Toro guitars by Tone DeWitt. I'm going to see if I can find Yamaha SG.
SG.
Because I really liked.
I've got
some. Oh, you've got it.
I've got my book here, mate.
That's what I did last week.
Hang on. Where's it gone? That's it. Yamaha. Is that it? Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah, in the middle there. Oh, wait, that's sweet. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's probably it. That's SG 2000.
Ooh.
Built in 1973. I started building those in 1973, apparently. But there you go. I have to say, I like his PRS that he uses. I'm a bit of a PRS headstock fan.
I was just looking at for a project I'm working on, which is a bit secret for now. I was looking at some kit guitars, and kit guitars often come with necks that where the headstock's just a paddle. And I was trying to work out what to do with what shape to do on it. I've got my own shape that I do on the headstocks, but this one just isn't for me. And I wondered just what can I do to get rid of that paddle? Like the Gibson's got their little shape at the end. Just cut the little end off, make it a bit of shape. What can I do to it? And I just was looking at it. I was just sort of blank, totally blank. I couldn't think what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm saying. As always,
it's nice to look around. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I when I was building one of the hollow bodies a while back, I wanted something different, and I happened to be watching Ken Parker and his guitars, and I mean, they've got a very unique sort of headstock and very thin headstock. And I thought, I like that. So actually, Carolyn came up with a design which was sort of based around that, but it wasn't quite the same. But I wouldn't have done it otherwise. I'll be honest with you, when it went on the guitar, it just looked right. You know, it's interesting. But I mean, before that, I think every guitar I built was sort of a variation of the PRS style headstock, the 3x3. But there's so many different designs you can do, aren't there? And you know.
Yeah, I tend to not notice the headstocks so much unless they're bad. I rarely look at headstock and think that looks cool. I normally look and think, that looks a bit naff. But anyway. So if anyone's new to this and you're just listening to my random stream of consciousness, I do find that just saying what I think, even if it is banal and uninteresting to everyone else, often is very helpful for me. And sometimes someone would chime in and say, "Hey, Daniel, what you need to do is this." Sometimes I just say it, and then I stay awake for a bit tonight, and it all clicks.
Yeah. All I'll say is, please don't cut the headstock off, because that's something I can't stand. Controversial. I can't stand headless guitars.
I'm working on a headless bass for someone, just doing some repairs on it at the moment. I'll share that one day. It's made by a British company called Enfield that I hadn't come across before. It's so beautiful and so well made. I have to share it on the stream. I think he's collecting it before next week, so maybe I'll have some photos of it. But it's headless, and I don't notice it's headless because it just doesn't bother me at all. I just notice all the cool bits about it. And I don't notice that it doesn't have a headstock and think, that looks weird. I just look at it and think, look how all these cool things on it. So I can't show you now because it's locked away in the cupboard at the back. But it's got a really good LED system in the fretboard. So it's got LEDs as the fret markers and the side dots, and they're independent of each other. And then the two pickups are covered, so you can't see the poles. But where you'd expect one of the poles to be, it's actually an LED. And depending on which setup you've got for your pickups, the colours of the pickups will change. So you know whether you've got both pickups on, both humbuckers on, just one on, if you split one or not, and it's all different colour orientation combinations.
That sounds like a useful.
It's useful. It looks cool. Yeah. It's also quite beautiful. But unfortunately, what happened is his guitarist dropped to hit their guitar on it. It's chipped a bit, so he asked me to fill the chip, and it's turned out to be much more complicated than I thought it would be because the way it's been sprayed. This is something I've been thinking about a lot recently. Quite often, someone brings something to me and say, "Can you fix this? It's just like a chip, or it's just a dent or something." Or they'll say, "Can you relic this?" And with the relics, it's the same problem that I'm about to talk about, which is you have no idea how thick the paint and the varnish is going to be until you start working on it. Yeah. And you have no idea what's underneath it. So when I'm relicking sometimes, I can do it really easily and it looks great. And then sometimes I think I can do it really easily and it looks great. But the paint is so thick that you just got to work for it. And then suddenly you've just got these big dents in the guitar. And then you get through to reveal what you think is going to be wood underneath. And it's bloody made of MDF.
Yeah,
that happened to me before. And then one of them was it was fine, but then when I got to the edges, it was plywood. So you had revealing the plywood on it. And this one that I'm working on the bass, it's really glossy and black. But what it's turned out to be is it's got a clear coat on the top, then it's got a very thin coat of black, and then it's got like a thick clear which they've used to seal the wood in.
Right.
So when I've been trying to fill the crack that's there, I've got to be really careful because I can easily sand through the thin layer of black around the edges of where I'm filling, and then suddenly you can see the wood underneath. So the first time I filled the hole perfectly, but it had this little halo around the edge.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You can see the wood coming through. So I had to make the hole a little bit bigger to fill it carefully and then do it. And I was really worried it was going to be that I fill that and then accidentally wear through the black that was around it, and then have to make the hole a bit bigger and fill that, and then accidentally wear through it until the hole was growing so big it covered the guitar.
Yeah, you end up repainted it. No, that's interesting. That, yeah, I've got to actually I'm making a black guitar for somebody. It's building it for a boyfriend of a friend, but yeah, and I've just been trying to think how best to do that. I was experimenting staining the wood, which seems to work. It's gone very black, but now you've said a clear coat on there. Presumably that's to get a real gloss on it. Presumably, is it? They're using that like a sanding sealer type thing.
Yes. So the original, the bottom layer is to seal everything and then put the colour on. Right. So that's why there's the thick gloss underneath, thick clear underneath. But like when you're doing a finish and it's a black poly or a black nitro, and then you're putting the clear on top, well, the black nitro or the black poly, you can buff up the same as you can with the clear and it'll be nice and shiny. But if you've got a clear layer on top of it, it does give it that extra depth.
Right.
I'm not sure how to explain the difference, but it does to me feel different.
Yeah, I can see that it probably would. Yeah.
Because there's no reason with the black. It's the same material, right? So there's no reason you can't make it just as glossy.
Yeah.
There's something that gives it a little bit of extra sort of depth where you can almost see on the edges that it's clear.
Yes. Yeah. No, that sounds useful. By the way, your book's coming out soon, isn't it?
No.
No.
So, I don't want to bore you with it all. I don't want to bore you with it all, but it can't come out until it's been printed.
Right.
Right. And the problem is, originally, there was a schedule that we were going to stick to, and it would be printed at a certain date, and then it will be shipped and be published at a certain time and released at a certain time. And then what happened was there was a bit of indecision, because I was told when I wrote the book, write as much as you can, and then we decide whether to split it into 2 books or leave it as one. And they decided that it was too much to be in 1 book, so we should split it into 2. But then someone higher up in the company said, let's find a way to make it into 1 book. So then there was a bit of shifting, and to make it into 1 book, it's proved to be more complicated, because they can't make the book too much bigger, because if it's a bigger book, it has to sell for more, and they've got an amount that they think is what their target audience will want to spend on a book.
Right.
So they've had to rejig the sort of layout of it. So if it was just the smaller book, then it would have been easier to drop the text and the pictures in. But it's proven much more complicated to get it all to lay out so it makes sense. Because I'm really insistent that things shouldn't be spread over too many pages. So you shouldn't have to turn a page to look at something where the text is on one page and pictures on a different page.
Yeah,
so I'm happy with that. And then, unfortunately, the editor that I was working with was off ill for a while. And then the person that was involved with the layout was off ill for a while. So that all got delayed. So what you see when you look at the Amazon thing is it just keeps putting the date back.
Oh, does it? Right, okay, because I was looking at it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it says for May at the moment, but I was expecting this week, but it hasn't happened. So hopefully it'll be next week to see the final proof before it goes to the printer. Right. And then there's the issue that at the moment it's proving harder to ship things around the world. So there might be Left Andy said he's kept his pre-order on Amazon. Thank you. I don't know if you got any notifications saying, do you want to cancel your pre-order? But maybe you did, because it got delayed. But so the intention is at the moment that it will be given the go-ahead very soon to go to the printer, right. And then it gets shipped. It gets printed in India and then shipped to countries to distribute it. So I don't know how long it would take. So I'm not sure I don't think it will be May. It's going to be longer.
Right. Okay.
So it's,
Well, I'll hang on. I mean, because I'll wait till I get it before I start finishing this guitar. You never know. I'm relying on your expertise, Daniel. See?
oh
The
yeah.
guitar.
Well, thank you. Oh yeah. Well, that's disappointing to know that I bet some people did cancel their pre-order in that case. Yeah,
mine's
it's a
still in
shame.
place.
Sorry.
Mine's still in place at the moment.
Oh, good. Yeah, I don't yes, and also if you pre-ordered it a while ago, it was cheaper, so you'll get the pre-order guarantee price as well.
Oh, that's good.
But they do that every now and then. They just drop the price suddenly to it. But I mean, it shouldn't be too much longer now. But you know, having never been involved with writing a book before, it's really interesting to see the process it goes through. And the original editor I worked with, she was saying that this company work in a slightly different way to other companies that she's worked for before, and I guess all companies must be different. So I think I've been quite troublesome for them because I've got so much content and so many photos.
Yeah, but that's part of the job, isn't it? I mean, you know, doing something like that, you've got to illustrate it, haven't you?
Yeah, but the other projects they've had haven't been quite as complicated or had so much content that it needed so many photos, which is why, like I said, they were thinking it could be 2 books originally. But yeah, we'll see. It's very exciting,
Right?
though.
It is, yeah. Well, I'll get my pre-order in anyway, and then at least I'm on the list, aren't I?
Yeah. And for anyone that doesn't know what we're talking about, it's a book that I've written on how to customize guitars, and it basically covers finishing, like staining and painting and gloss coating, and it covers some other things that are less common, like swirl finishes, acrylic pouring, spatter finishes. It has how to customize the shape without affecting the playability of the guitar, and how to put custom bits on it, and just some little other bits like how to make your own pick guards and things like that.
Excellent.
But it's not how to build a guitar, but I think it complements the how to build a guitar books.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Excellent.
If I get to the point where I'm finishing my guitar and the book hasn't arrived, I'll just pop round.
Yeah.
Get my money worth that way.
You're welcome. I tell you what, though, when the book comes out, I'm going to try and promote it as much as I possibly can. I'm very excited by it. But yeah,
it looks really good. I mean, the image on Amazon, doesn't it? I mean, you've got, is that the front cover or is that?
Yeah. So the front cover, we've had the front cover design for a year.
No, it looks good. Yeah.
There you go.
Excellent.
So one of the other things that's interesting is when someone is laying out a book who doesn't know anything about guitars, which is going to be totally true of any book that this company are publishing, because they have such a wide variety of things. The copy editor, the typesetter, the designer aren't necessarily going to be experts on those topics. So they don't know if what they're doing is right or not. So like the last proof I got, quite a few of the guitars were upside down. Which
really
clearly they look the right to someone else, but the controls it basically looks like a Jimi Hendrix guitar.
Is that because they were pointing out the page or something, and they've said, "Oh, we've got to point it the other way"?
Yeah.
Oh dear, I don't know.
So, yeah, it's quite interesting if things like that happen.
Yeah. Oh no, that's really good. Oh right. So. Yeah, well, I'm at the moment. I'm sort of really late to the Jurgs Cup 3, so I'm working on 2 hollow body Telecasters. So I haven't got them here, but yeah, if you're watching my video, you'll realise that there'll be a lot of Dave moments where I get with all good intention do something and then realise I've completely cocked it up. And one of them was made a laminated neck, and I wanted to have some nice light veneer in between some dark woods, and I'd only got a little bit of veneer left, so I thought, that's not a problem. So what I'll do, I'll just cut a thin bit of veneer and stick it so it's on the bottom of the neck, and then, you know, it doesn't matter what veneer I put on the top of the neck because you won't see it. So then I glue the headstock on the wrong way round. So I'm looking in a mirror to line up the headstock, realizing headstock's got this lovely light wood and it goes into the neck and there's no lines. And it was too late. I'd cut the neck and it was so I've just had to make another one today. So yeah. You do these things, don't you? But I mean, I've got a neck that I can use for a guitar for myself, so it's not a problem, is it? But
yeah. It's unless you've got a factory or you're making the same thing over and over again, every time you do something, there's the chance of discovering a new potential mistake.
Yeah.
And even when you repeat things, for me, there's the chance of forgetting the mistake you made last time.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
Like on these ones, we came to lining up the bridges the other day, and we'd already put the logos on the back, and then realised that actually I'd forgotten the bridges go through and they need a ferrule on the back. So not all of them can have the ferrule now because it goes over because we put the logos in random places on it. So some of them, the ferrule's right in the middle of it. So we had to change the bridge to be top loading instead of through loading. Yeah.
There's always a solution though, isn't there? That's the beauty of it all. You can fix it usually, can't you? Yeah. But no.
Hey, look, thank you both for being here. Thank you, people in the chat. It was a bit of a waffle tonight, which I enjoy. I always enjoy that. I'm amazed that anyone watches what I think is just a couple of three people just talking to themselves about things that I'm amazed other people are interested in. But yeah, there you go. Thank you for being interested.
Yeah, no, it's great.
We have had a few episodes recently where we've had a focused topic, and they've been a bit different. And we will go back to them every now and then. So if anyone's got a suggestion of a topic, let me know, because that would be brilliant. But the Jurgs Cup officially, I think, the sign-ups for the new Jurgs Cup 4 start on April the 24th. So the end of this month. So maybe around that period, that date. I think, in fact, that's a Friday, which will be when we're going live. Maybe that will be a good time to have a focus on the Jurgs Cup. So I'll see if I can get Corey or someone like that in.
Excellent. I think that one runs for 6 months, if I'm right in saying as well. Is that
6
right?
months this time, yeah.
Yeah, through to November.
Yeah. Okay.
I've failed to build one in 12 months, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do in 6.
It usually takes me about a year. I did say that Corey really doesn't know how long it takes for me, but never mind. Hey, it doesn't matter. I don't think it's not a big sweat, is it? At the end of the day, you build the guitar.
Exactly, it's informal stuff. But Corey is a machine. Who turns out his very complicated guitars as well.
Yeah, he seems to be posting almost once a week the finished product.
Yeah,
excellent stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Right.
Anyway, thank you very much. Yeah, lovely to see you.
Friday. Right, take care.
Bye.
Bye.